Itachi is one of the most beloved anime characters in the history of not only Naruto, but probably all anime. I'd reckon 20 to 30% of all anime tattoos are of Itachi, and 50% of those are him standing on a pole. Not to attack anybody with that tattoo, it's a cool tattoo. And there was a lot of reasons to love Itachi. His character design was sick, he was powerful, he had a tragic backstory, he was loyal, he loved Sasuke. The last one isn't really a reason to like Itachi. But he had flaws, and that's what made him human. And because of this, people have been looking for any possible way for Itachi to return to the fold of the Naruto universe. We already got it once when he was reincarnated during the Fourth Great Shinobi World War. A lot of people feel as though we could see that again. Not to mention that in the midway check-in of the Naruto Top 99, he was top 3 in votes. So even if we didn't necessarily see him return to the Naruto universe, just getting more content about him would be awesome and possibly likely. In fact, I recently made a video explaining how we may be receiving an Akatsuki manga, and more specifically an Itachi-centric manga, very soon. But it appears as though we may not even have to wait for that, because I believe that Itachi will be returning to the Naruto universe significantly sooner and through a different medium than his own manga. I believe we may see Itachi in Boruto, and more than that, relatively soon. And if that sounds insane to you guys, well, sit down, buckle up, and get ready for the ride, because today we're talking Itachi's return. But before we get into all that, guys, please, for me, like this video, subscribe to the page, and hit that noti bell. And if you love characters that aren't Itachi and characters that may not exist in either the Naruto or Boruto universe, then you should go ahead and follow my other YouTube channel, The Weeb Commander, where I talk any anime that's not Naruto or Boruto. We just released a video about Meruem, and I cried at the end of it, so maybe don't watch that one. And if you like seeing grown men cry while talking about anime, then you're gonna love my brand new anime podcast, Otaku's Anonymous, where me and Danny Mata break down everything that happened in anime this week. It's available on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. So Itachi's return. How would it happen? Would they dig up his body and use Rini Rebirth to bring him back to life? Would they yank his soul out of the Pure Lands again and stuff him into a human sacrifice through Edo Tensei? Or will he come back another way, a different way, a symbolic way? Well, that's what we're gonna be talking about today. But before we get into how Itachi would return through this symbolic route to Boruto, we have to break down what's going on currently in Boruto. So as we currently know, in chapter 79, Ada used her charm Shinjutsu to switch the memories of everybody on Earth, changing Boruto and Kawaki's statuses to everybody. Kawaki is now Kawaki Uzumaki, the son of a murdered father, killed by the hands of Boruto. However, some people are immune to this brainwashing. So far, we've seen that Sarada, and it's highly implied that Sumire are immune. And when you take a step back and look at the similarities between Sarada and Sumire, they're two girls who both love Boruto. I would say it's probably closer to a crush, but it's anime. They're in love. They're 13, but they're in love. That being said, I was in love multiple times as a 13-year-old, so who knows? Oh God, that was 13 years ago. Moving on. When you expand the thinking beyond Sarada and Sumire and look at the similarity between the two of them, women that love Boruto, or maybe just people that love Boruto, as it's a possibility that this charm Shinjutsu doesn't work on people who are in love with an Otsutsuki, as Boruto, because Momoshiki completed the rest of the karmic reincarnation cycle by giving up the last 12% of the karma seal to bring Boruto back to life, is now a fully matured Otsutsuki, which means he can be used as a sacrifice for the god tree or just be very powerful, which he kind of is. And because Sarada and Sumire are in love with a full-fledged Otsutsuki who might be the reincarnation of Shibai, I made another video about that, you should watch that if you want full context on that, they're immune to the charm Shinjutsu, which might have come from Shibai's partner. As Momoshiki stated, that Ada's charm Shinjutsu wasn't a Shinjutsu that he believed belonged to Shibai. However, he did call her ability to manipulate the memories of everybody on Earth the power of God, which is referring to Shibai. So it either belonged to Shibai's partner or Shibai. But regardless, the thing that makes you immune to Ada's charm is being in love with an Otsutsuki. Now, whether there's a line drawn between romantic love and familial love, we're not entirely sure, because the majority of Boruto's family is trapped in the Daikoten. The only other person who might fall into the familial love category is Himawari, and we didn't see her in chapter 79. In fact, in the iconic scene where Boruto and Kawaki's places are switched and Kawaki has all of the people whose memories have changed next to him, Himawari isn't in the panel. Now, you could argue that Himawari wasn't involved in this panel because she's not a ninja and she wasn't searching for Boruto currently. But interestingly enough, Sarada and Sumire also weren't included on that side of the panel, which would imply the only main characters who had their memories switched were put next to Kawaki. And therefore, Himawari's absence from being on Kawaki's side implies that her memories weren't changed. However, I think they were, mostly because from a narrative standpoint, it makes more sense to have Himawari's memories change. But see, if hypothetically Himawari's memories weren't changed, she would basically be one of the only people in the entirety of Konoha who remembered who Boruto truly was. Himawari is currently 10 years old. If everybody switched up on Boruto, and she very clearly didn't, that would be bad for her, because there's no way she would know to keep her mouth closed about it. She doesn't have the deductive reasoning as a ninja. But honestly, whether or not her memories are changed doesn't really matter, because Himawari wasn't present when Kawaki sealed away Hinata and Naruto in the Daikoten, and Himawari considers Kawaki a part of her family. Therefore, everybody calling Kawaki Uzumaki and the son of Naruto wouldn't seem that weird to her, because for all intents and purposes, as far as Himawari knows, Kawaki is Naruto's son. I mean, Himawari obviously understands the fact that Kawaki wasn't born by Hinata. She understands that Kawaki has been adopted into the Uzumaki family. Therefore, everybody in the village considering Kawaki Naruto's son wouldn't be that weird. What really matters is everything that happens after chapter 79 to Himawari. Memory changed or not, Kawaki could simply tell Himawari that Boruto, while under the control of Momoshiki, killed her parents. And as Himawari wasn't present for Kawaki sealing away her parents, and also everybody in the village now corroborates that story, she would most likely come to believe it. Now, obviously, if she has her memories changed like everybody else, we don't have to worry about Kawaki and the rest of the village gaslighting her into believing that Boruto is a bad guy. And what's wild about this is for the longest time, we've been scrambling to see what parallels are being drawn between Boruto and Naruto characters. People have stated that Boruto, now that he's isolated, is understanding what Naruto went through as a child. However, the image of Boruto standing alone while Kawaki is surrounded by all the people that supposedly love him is reminiscent of what Naruto and Sasuke went through in their final battle in the Fourth Great Shinobi World War, where Sasuke as an isolated figure had to watch as Naruto built a bigger and bigger family around him. And thus, honestly, even I'm not entirely sure what parallel is trying to be made. Maybe Boruto is just his own character, or parallels are being drawn to both Naruto and Sasuke, because both of them had to deal with isolation in their life, just at different points. Naruto started off isolated and used hard work and friendship to build up a network around him, while Sasuke was born with a family that loved him but had that all torn away from him. But what if in actuality Boruto isn't similar to Naruto or Sasuke? What if the real parallel being drawn here is to Itachi? See, when you think about it, the reason we can't draw a perfect parallel to Naruto or Sasuke is because that's not where the parallel is supposed to go. The parallel is supposed to go to one of the most beloved characters in the entirety of the Naruto universe, Itachi. Stick with me here for a second. Boruto is a talented, if not genius, older brother who's 3 to 4 years older than his younger sibling. When placed in a horrible situation outside of the confines of his own control, Boruto is believed to have killed his parents and is now a rogue ninja operating outside of Konoha while all of the Konoha shinobi are trying to capture him. But the connections go even further than that. See, both Boruto and Itachi are technically innocent of their own crimes. While Boruto in actuality didn't kill his parents and Kawaki simply manipulated everybody's memories into believing that, Itachi was coerced into massacring his entire clan by Danzo in order to save his little brother's life. So both Itachi and Boruto caught the blame for somebody else's actions. In the case of Itachi, it was Danzo. In the case of Boruto, it was Kawaki and Ada. And beyond that, after they became rogue ninjas, they'll continue to operate with Konoha's best interests in mind, more likely than not operating as a spy amongst enemy groups. See, now that everyone believes that Boruto has killed Naruto and Hinata, rogue ninjas around the world will probably respect him and possibly even want to work with him. The likes of Kashin Koji, who's in Mount Mubuko recovering from his battle against Ishiki, and even possibly Code could team up with him in the future. And Boruto would be able to relay this information to inside connections he has in Konoha that aren't affected by Ada's charm, like Sarada or Sumire. And while obviously Kashin Koji isn't that evil, I mean, so far as we know, everything revolving around Amado is very mysterious. He is still a member of Kara as far as everybody on Earth is concerned outside of Amado and those who know he was created specifically to kill Jigen. So if Boruto were to go train with Kashin Koji, as I believe he's going to do, people would believe that Boruto had joined Kara, which is Boruto's Akatsuki. And through the connection of Kashin Koji, it's a possibility that Boruto would be able to get close enough to Code to relay what he's doing to Sarada. Because mind you, Ada's charm ability more likely than not worked on Code, meaning that Boruto is actually the one that he can't kill because Boruto is the one that Ada is in love with, while Kawaki is the fully realized Otsutsuki who he wants to feed to the Ten Tails. And thus, while it's not nearly as flashy as ripping Itachi's dead body out of the ground, Itachi has been reincarnated through the medium of Boruto, a disgraced older brother operating with Konoha's best interests in mind. And the Itachi connections go further than this, possibly, as Himawari in episode 289 asked Boruto to help her train for her upcoming Ninja Academy test, to which Boruto shut her down, saying he was too busy. Does that sound familiar at all? Himawari, who now either believes that Boruto killed her parents or is being gaslighted into it by Kawaki and the rest of the village, now has a real reason to become a ninja: revenge. against Boruto. Considering the fact that Daemon has already hinted at the fact that Himawari is one of the strongest people he's ever met, deeming her to be the only interesting person to battle in Konoha. If Himawari is able to tap into her latent power, she could be an absolute powerhouse, much like Sasuke. See, the connection between Boruto and Sasuke might have seemed obvious, but it feels to me that the clearer connection is actually being made between Himawari and Sasuke. And therefore, Himawari, while living with Kawaki over the next couple of years, will probably train with Kawaki and go to the ninja academy. And everything in her village, from Kawaki to the people around her to the stone face of her father on the Great Wall of Konoha, will be a constant reminder of what Boruto took away from her. As in her mind, either Boruto was an outsider that Naruto was kind enough to bring into the folds of their family, a kindness he repaid by murdering Naruto and Hinata, or Boruto was her loving brother who was taken over by an alien and now must be stopped because that alien killed her parents. Either way, Kawaki will be in her ear during the time skip, making her believe that the Otsutsuki inside of Boruto is the most evil entity on Earth. And therefore, even though Himawari didn't have to stumble upon the dead bodies of Naruto or Hinata like Sasuke did, she'll have something that Sasuke didn't: external factors hyping up her hatred. Not to say that Sasuke didn't have that either, actually. I mean, he was the only Uchiha member left. So it's a possibility that through the power of hatred and over the time skip, that Himawari hones her own potential as a ninja. In post-time skip, we see Kawaki using Himawari as a pseudo-weapon, as not only will he be able to weaponize her hatred and turn her into a relatively powerful weapon, also she can be used as leverage against Boruto, as whether or not Himawari hates him doesn't mean anything to Boruto because he loves her. And this, as well, is a very interesting parallel to Itachi and Sasuke's relationship, where Itachi understood that the forces that be in Konoha would always try to use Sasuke as leverage against him. In fact, the reason that Itachi returned to Konoha with Kisame in the first place, you know, when he fought Might Guy and Kakashi and Jiraiya, is because he wanted to make it very clear to Danzo that he was still alive and could come into Konoha at any point he wanted to and basically run shit. The reason this was necessary for Itachi is because Hiruzen had passed away, and Hiruzen was working as a protector of Sasuke for Itachi, as Hiruzen and Itachi were basically the people who figured out that Itachi would go to the Akatsuki, and Hiruzen is who Itachi sent all of his information to. But in this circumstance, Kawaki is Danzo, using Himawari as leverage against Boruto, much in the same way that Danzo wanted to use Sasuke as leverage against Itachi. And I genuinely believe that some point after the time skip, we'll see Himawari set out on the path of revenge, much in the same way that Sasuke did. And I believe at some point we'll see a pivotal battle between Himawari and Boruto, where Himawari is either hell-bent on killing the outsider who killed her families, or ending the tyrannical run of Momoshiki. However, throughout the course of their battle, either Himawari will remember that Boruto isn't an outsider and is instead her loving brother, or Boruto will simply reveal to her, most likely by not fighting back, that he is not the evil person that the entire village has painted him out to be. And much in the same capacity as Sasuke and Itachi's fight, the truth of what's actually going on with the Boruto/Itachi character will be revealed through combat, which is important, mostly because I believe Daemon finding Himawari interesting is actually foreshadowing. See, as it currently stands, Boruto is kind of screwed. Well, sure, Boruto could probably go toe-to-toe with the likes of Kawaki, which is one of the biggest threats from the Konoha side that's currently pursuing him. Boruto has no answer for combat against Konoha's biggest threat, Daemon. Unfortunately, everyone else in Konoha is kind of a non-factor. Like, yes, there's Shikamaru and Shikadai and Sasuke. The post-time skip, Kawaki and Boruto will be able to dog walk any of these characters. So genuinely, when it boils down to it, the only characters that are going to matter post-time skip in terms of power scaling are probably going to be Mitsuki, Boruto, Kawaki, Code, Himawari, and Daemon. And even adding Mitsuki into that list is kind of a stretch, except for when you consider the fact that Sarada wasn't affected by Ada's charm, and that Sarada, through the power of her dad kicking the bucket, please God, I made another video about this if you're curious about the full context of Sasuke's death, will most likely have to battle against the likes of Mitsuki. Will actually be a really interesting parallel between Sasuke and Naruto, as through the power of a Mangekyo Sharingan that she achieved through Sasuke's death and possibly one EMS she could get from his eyes, Sarada would be able to use a Susanoo, and Mitsuki is a sage. So the battle between good and evil would be between Sarada and Mitsuki, Boruto and Kawaki, and then who's fighting Daemon? Himawari. Obviously giving us the little teaser that Himawari might be one of the most powerful people in Konoha through the eyes of Daemon is interesting. The reason that Daemon may actually be interested in Himawari is because she would be able to battle through his Shinjutsu that reflects all attacks. And therefore, through the power of truth and love that Himawari has for Boruto, she will become his counter to the perfect counter in Daemon, which sets the stage for an incredibly epic battle between Boruto, which I guess would be the evil side, and Kawaki, which would be the good side, with each side being almost perfectly balanced in terms of power. Now, obviously, this ignores the idea of code, which you could say that the Boruto manga and anime have been doing for a while now. But let's not forget that Code managed to split the juvenile Ten Tails into a bunch of clones that have his claw markings on them. And more likely than not, this is how Konoha gets destroyed, is a code assault, which both sides probably have to come together to battle against. And then, as they're in the heat of their own battle, that's when we finally get served to Shibai, who once again, both sides have to come together again to battle. So, are we getting a flesh and blood reincarnation of Itachi, Uchiha, and Boruto? Nah, he's dead. I'm sorry, he's gone. He's probably gonna get his own manga, maybe, but he's gone. Anything we're getting from Itachi in any future iterations of Naruto content is gonna be from the past. Unless, of course, we do a time slip thing again, then we can maybe see him. But much in the same way that we're most likely gonna see Jiraiya reincarnated through the medium of Kashin Koji, we could see Itachi reincarnated through the medium of Boruto, and Sasuke reincarnated through the medium of Himawari, a character looking for revenge for the killer of her parents. But the true beauty of Boruto's rendition of this story is that Itachi and Sasuke get to work together. Well, I guess we actually did get that in Naruto. We got it during the Fourth Great Shinobi World War, but still, which actually only bolsters my point further. I mean, obviously Boruto won't die and then get brought back to life, but even in the circumstance of the original thing that we're drawing parallels to, after truth gets revealed, they team up to defeat the biggest bad, the Otsutskis, who are trying to turn Earth into a chakra fruit. So for those of you who don't like Boruto, don't worry, it's slowly becoming Naruto. Maybe. I have no idea. Every month, Kishimoto surprises me to a degree I didn't think I could be surprised. But do you guys like this theory? Do you think Boruto could become his own little rendition of Itachi? Tell me in the comments below. While you guys are down there, please, for me, like this video, subscribe to the page, and hit that noti bell. If it means anything to you, I'm filming this video on April Fool's Day for all of you who got clickbaited into thinking that Itachi was coming back. I'm sorry.